What's going on, everyone? So today I kind of want to share my experience of what it's like buying a new build Lennar townhome specifically in Southern California. But I think this is valuable uh, for anyone who wants to buy a Lennar new build. So for those of you who are new, or I think my videos haven't come out yet, but I've been trying to document my journey for buying my first new build home. No, sorry, my to buy my primary residence. And I'm in Southern California, Los Angeles area, and I looked in multiple areas, right? So I just want to understand the market, understand how it is, and I looked at a bunch of townhomes in the San Gabriel Valley area. So you're talking about like Alhambra, Monterey Park, San Gabriel, and found out that um, most of the townhomes are around $800,000, and they were pretty expensive. They were mostly 1980s built. HOA was roughly around 350, and they were renovated on the inside kind of, but it wasn't super nice. So I basically said, okay, well, it's kind of discouraging, right? I have to basically put $800,000 in to get a townhome and maybe spend an additional, maybe $10,000 to $20,000 to renovate it if I want to look nice, or I could take my time and do that. So, I looked in that area. Um, it was around 800,000. I looked at some single family homes, and they're ranging for about $1 million. But these homes are like really awkward shaped. They're like 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 1,200 square foot, but they're on like a 9,000 square foot lot. So it's great if you want to like build an ADU, because there's a lot of land in the back. Or you could basically tear down that home and then build a brand new home, right? So the layout was a little obsolete for me. Like, small kitchens, weird walls, very closed, small rooms. One bathroom is very obsolete. You have to basically share, 3 rooms will share one bathroom. So I didn't like that. And then I came across some new builds um, in a community. Don't want to say the specific name. um, but basically, I found a new build community um, in Los Angeles, and it's through Lennar Homes. And, I just said, okay, well, let me go take a look at this area. So I walked in. It was a beautiful gated community. You basically have to go through security guard to get in, and then from there you drive into this community, and they have a bunch of. It's on a hill, right? So there's a bunch of homes there. There's a bunch of new luxury single family homes that are tri level. Those are made by Toll Brothers, and Toll Brothers make luxury homes across the U.S. I think I see a lot of them in California, but definitely they make a lot of luxury homes, and those are ranging for around like 2.5 to $3 million. They're tri level, and roughly around 4,000 square foot. 5 bedroom, 5 bath. So that's the perimeter of the area. On the inside of the area, they have a bunch of townhomes in the middle, and the townhomes, I think most of them were like 8 plexes, so 8 units, so 4 on each side. And the townhomes had various models. They had a 2 bedroom model, a 3 bedroom model, and then two 4 bedroom models. So the 2 bedroom, for me, it's just not applicable, especially if you're trying to have a family and plan for a family, because, basically you can only have like maybe, one kid or two small kids, but then once they're bigger and need their own room, then it's not feasible. So we were looking at 3 or 4 bedrooms. The 3 bedroom was ranging around 900,000. So this is your typical 3 bedroom, maybe 2.5 bath. These are tri-level townhomes, so you have a garage. There's no driveway, or some have driveways. First floor is not much. It's just like an entranceway from the garage. There might be a little pantry or coat closet down there. You walk up your first set of stairs, and then you'll be in the main floor, which has like a half bathroom. It has a kitchen, and it has a balcony. It has the family room, great room. So it's a nice, open, spacious room. And I'll do once I move in, I'll do a full video tour of the community as well as my house as I'm moving in, and just showing updates on the house. Very excited for the house because now I'm going to have a official YouTube studio instead of just sitting on my sofa here in my apartment as I record. So, hopefully I have a nice backdrop, better lighting, and hopefully that's going to up my production. So I'm definitely excited for that. It's hard to do that when I live in a small studio. by the beach. But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, the second floor, there's a half bathroom, there's an island kitchen. It's pretty modern. There's kind of a good area. There's a balcony, and then there is a little corner called the great room. So it's more open concept. And then from there, you go up to the third floor, and then you have your three bedrooms. You have your master bathroom with the master bedroom with master bath, walk-in closet, and then two other rooms. Um, Overall, it's around 1,700 square foot, so it's not too big. But honestly, I'm living in a 450 square foot studio right now with two people. So for me, it's like four times the space. So definitely excited for that. It's probably a little too much. But look at the community, and I really liked it. I really like new homes. Lennar is building a lot. I look at a couple of the model homes, and they are pretty well made from what I've seen. And I like new builds because you get warranty. So you get 1 year of inside warranty. So if there's any a kitchen cabinet's broken or a bathroom door is broken, I can put in a service request to Lennar and they'll fix it. I have heard that they do take a long time. So you just make a request early. So once I move in, um, basically I want to identify issues immediately, or ideally I want to do that during my property inspection. But let's just say that I once they finish the home, I'm going to do a property inspection and I'll create a punch list. So I'll see what things are right that needs to be tweaked, touch up here, fix this, and they'll fix that punch list. And then at the end, after you close on the property, you still have a year from that time to, let's say you missed that a drawer was broken, you can then put in a request. But I heard that they take 5 to 7 months to respond to your request, right? So be patient. But hey, it's another set of eyes. So and then for the structural, um, the outside, there's a 10-year warranty on that. So once again, you just submit the request. So for me, I really like new builds because it makes the buying process so much easier, right? So in my mind, this new build was $900,000, right? And it's just like fully renovated, brand new. It's nice in new community. Um, the three bedrooms were 900,000. I think the two bedrooms were 800,000, and there's a cheaper four-bedroom option which was about 1.1 million or close to 1.1 million, and then there was a high-end four-bedroom model which was I think like 1.2 million. So for me, I couldn't quite justify spending over a million on a townhome. Um, for me, if I want to spend over 1.2 to 1.5, I want a single family home. But since this is a starter home, for me to raise my future family, and I thought, why not start with a three bedroom, 2.5 bath townhome, right? And so I like the price point, $900,000. For context, like I said, the um, three bedroom, I believe 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath townhomes that I saw that were old and used, were selling for 800, and they probably need around $20,000 worth of renovation if you want to bring it up to code, right? It has that older infrastructure in it. So to me, it's like, okay, this is 820 versus I get something brand new for 900,000, right? So that's why for me, I like new builds. I think they appreciate better. You don't have to deal with the headache of renovations. It's plain and simple. The bedrooms are a little bit smaller. Like the master bedroom wasn't as big. Like you could probably fit like a king size bed and maybe two nightstands and maybe like a little TV dresser slash TV stand. The other bedrooms, they're not that big either. You could, they have closets, but you can probably fit a full size bed in there and maybe a dresser and feel a little tight. But to be honest, I don't spend much time in the bedrooms. I spend more time like in the kitchen area, the family room, the dining room, they call it the great room, and the balcony. So for me, I cared more about the second floor, how it looked, and I liked how it was a very open concept, nice island, that you could prepare food on. The kitchen spacious. You can put like an L-shaped sofa in the corner. You can have a dining room table. There's a balcony where I can eat outside. And what I like about new builds is that you could choose what location you want to be in, right? So there's like, I think 8 phases in the community. And what's nice about buying new builds is that like, if you buy in the earlier phases, it's cheaper. In every phase, the price goes up by about $10,000, right? So I bought mine in phase 4 for $900,000, right? But then phase 3 probably bought theirs for like 890. Phase 2 is 880. Phase 1 is $870. And why they do that is because you have to deal with the construction, you have to deal with the noise, right? But you get instant equity. So as phase um, 5 sells, my property went up by 10,000. Phase 6, that's 20,000. Phase 7, that's 30,000. Phase 8, that's another 40,000, right? So I get $40,000 instant equity, kind of dealing with all this construction, this renovation. So that's what's nice about new builds, right? And then to me, it's nice to go into a new house, and then, like you said, I have a year of inside warranty through Lennar, and then I have 10 years on the outside, right? Um, so that's what I really liked, and they're building a lot of nice amenities. It's a nice gated community. There's I think 2 pools. They're not done yet. There's 2 pools. There's gonna be a gym. There's multiple parks. You can walk around. It just felt very safe. There's a bunch of like $2.5 to $3 million homes on the outskirts by Toll Brothers. So it seemed like a very luxury community, which is what I liked. But the downside is your HOA is gonna be high, right? So believe it or not, the HOA is actually $535 a month, and it includes 2 things. One, I think 300 roughly is for the common area maintenance. So that includes like mowing the grass, upkeeping the parks, maintaining the outside. It includes the fire insurance on the outside. And then the other, I think 200 is for the amenities, right? So for the pool, there's a clubhouse, there's a fire pit, they have a gym, they have a security guard and gate. So there's just a bunch of other amenities that go with it, right? So that's just something to figure out. Like I don't like HOA, but because the community is just so nice, and I think I actually would use the amenities. Like I like to go to the gym, and I pay for a gym membership. So in my mind, I'm like, well, if I'm paying like let's say like $75 for a gym membership times 2, that's $150. Then okay, well I have a gym and I can go like use the jacuzzi afterwards, right? After I worked out. So that's kind of the downside, but that's kind of the modern house. Like the average HOA, to be honest, from what I've seen, is like $300 in Southern California, and they offer no amenities. So the fact that I pay about 500, but I get a little more, I think it's a little bit worth it for me. Like I said, it's not for everybody. The townhouse that we got is on a corner lot, so it's nice is that your balcony gets more of a view. You get 2 angles. So mine is actually facing um, the luxury single family homes. And I thought it's kind of interesting because, like, honestly, if I bought a $3 million home in that community, I wouldn't want to face townhomes, but they're facing us, the townhomes, right? So that's why I'm pretty excited that like I have the cheapest home in the most expensive neighborhood, right? Like my home is 900,000. It's a 3 bedroom, and every other home around me is like selling for like 2.5 to $3 million. So I know that if I'm the cheapest home in an expensive community, my townhouse will appreciate well or better, right? So between the phases selling and then between the other homes selling at higher prices, I think just raises the level of this community, right? So that's what I'm excited about. And what's not so nice about new builds is that you could choose what type of flooring you want, right? So this comes at extra cost, um, and that's how I kind of do it. So I see a question is, what's the interest rate on the loan you got? So I bought the property for $900,000. It's going to be me and my girlfriend on the loan. And we're actually only doing 5% down, believe it or not. And keep in mind, we're both high income W-2 pharmacists. So we put 5% down. And so roughly it's about 45K down. And interest rate, so we use Lennar Mortgage. So they have an in-house mortgage. And if you use Lennar Mortgage, they actually give you $40,000 in flex credit, which is what you could use to do certain things. So I'll talk about that a bit later, but they give you $40,000 in incentives, right? So you could use that to buy down your interest rate. You could use that to cover your closing costs. You could use that to pay for the solar panels, because in California, if you have solar panels, then in California, when you have a new build house, they require that you have solar panels on there. So you could pay for the solar panels, and you could prepay for the HOA and use the rest for any renovations and upgrades. Like if you want upgraded flooring, if you want a backsplash, like that's how you use the money, right? So my interest rate for 5% down was about 6.625%. That's high in my opinion, but I think it's trending down, which is nice. And keep in mind, I'm doing 5% down, so my interest is going to be higher. And then my PMI, because most people, they want to do 20% down to avoid PMI, but my PMI was only $180 extra a month, and I can only do 5% down. So the PMI for 5% down was $180. The PMI for 10% down was $180. So to me, I'm like, well, if the PMI is the same with 10% down and 5% down, why not do 10 or 5% down? Why not leverage a little more, right? So, but of course, my monthly payment's gonna be higher. So all in, so if you include the prince, the principal payment, the interest, property tax, insurance, HOA, and some utilities, my all-in cost is about $7,500 a month, right? So that's pretty high. Um, with that. But anyways, I use Lennar Mortgage because it's in-house. I got $40,000 in flex credit, and what's nice about that is so the closing cost is roughly about 1%, right? So if you bought for 900,000, your closing cost is roughly 9,000. So let's just make it 10,000 for simplicity. So I allocate 10,000 to cover my closing costs, which is nice. The solar panels, which they said covers about 80% of your electricity, I have an electric Tesla, which I need to charge, but that was roughly around 11,000. So I paid that off. But what's nice about that, when you own the solar panels and you file your taxes, you're going to get about 30% of the cost of solar panels back as a solar tax credit, right? So roughly, when I file taxes and I set that I have a solar panel and I paid 11,000 for it, I'm roughly going to get around $33,000 from that, right? So that's what's nice about it too. And also, the HOA is about $500 a month, so $6,000 a year. So I can prepay $6,000 of HOA in advance using the flex credit, and I had a remaining roughly around $12,000 of flex credit for renovation. And what I used that 12,000 was pretty much I got LVP flooring on the second floor, and then I got to upgrade my carpet a little bit on the third floor. Because when you do new builds, what I learned, and it's kind of annoying, but like the price that they quote you is based on standard carpet and standard tile. So they just had like three standard tiles, right? I think one was like grayish, one was an earth tone, and one was kind of like a reddish clay color. And then for the carpet, they had four standard carpets, right? If you do no upgrades, that's what they pay. But when you use the flex credits, they kind of upcharge everything, right? Like I've renovated multiple apartments of LVP flooring, and it didn't cost me that much. But for a quote just for the second floor, which is literally probably like 700 square foot, they were quoting me like $11,000 just for that flooring, and I know that's overpriced because I've renovated 600 square foot 2 bedroom 1 bath apartments in Oklahoma, and it only cost me like $3,000 to do it. Right. So I don't know if it's more expensive in California or Lennar's upcharging it. It's probably a little both. Right. But in any case, it's flex credit. So it's like free money in a way. And So basically, I'm getting LVP flooring on the second floor because you want LVP flooring because it's more sturdy, it's easy to clean, it's scratch resistant. If you drop something on the floor, it's not going to crack it, and it's more resistant versus carpet. Once you walk on it, it gets old, it gets dirty, right? So for the third floor, I'm just doing standard carpet. I'm doing standard tile for the bathrooms. For the first floor where you enter, I'm just doing standard tile. And then for the staircase from the first floor to second floor, I use a little bit of my flex money to do upgraded carpet, right? I want to do LVP for the staircase, but believe it or not, to do LVP flooring on a staircase cost $4,000 each, right? So if I want to do 2 staircases, that's $8,000. That's crazy to me. And I was just like, you know what? I'll get upgraded carpet. And if the carpet's bad, then later I just replace that carpet, right? It's going to be cheaper for me to do that, right? But since it's an upgrade carpet, it's a little more durable, right? And, I'm Asian, so I don't wear shoes on carpet anyways, right? So it's okay for me. I prefer LVP, but it's not worth that $4,000 extra, right? So in terms of the buying process, it's very simple. So literally, if you get pre-qualified with Lennar Mortgage, they put you on a priority list. And then when you see a home that you like, they email you the list of available homes. And you can say, okay, let me go check out the home, right? So I'll go there, I'll check out unit, whatever, number 100. And then, I can see the inside. Usually it's like framed. It's pretty much ready to go, minus the flooring, because you get to pick your flooring, right? So you can go there, you can see the location. Do you like the sunlight? For me, I like sunlight, so I wanted to make sure that I had a corner lot and I had sunlight, right? And I want to be near those new luxury homes. So that was kind of my goal. That was kind of my objective when I was looking. So we saw phase 4. It was kind of in the corner. It was a little secluded, a little bit further from the gym, the rec center. And I just said, you know what? I kind of like the fact that's excluded. It's almost done being built. So when they start on phase 5, 6, 7, 8, it's the other side of the community. So the sound won't affect me as much. Right. And typically they said that in terms of noise, they work on the homes Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to like 4 p.m. On the weekdays, they do the outside stuff, but on the weekend, on Saturday, they're more working on the inside. So it's a little bit quieter. You have to deal with some noise, but, and some dust as well. But like you said, that's the sacrifice you make if you want to build the equity and choose which lot you want, right? So for me, I want a corner lot, and I'll put 5% down. And so what's crazy is, let me show you how I hacked this, right? So we're putting 5% down on a $900,000 home. So that's 450K. They were offering $30,000 in flex credit, right? So I use that to, as I mentioned earlier, to cover my closing costs, which saves me about $10,000. It pays for my solar panel, which costs 11,000, but I'm getting 3,000 back. So in reality, it's 8,000, and I'm using that to prepay HOA for a year, so it saves me $500 a month for the next year. Then I use the rest to upgrade my LVP flooring, right? So they offered $30,000 in flex credit, but you can always negotiate, right? So I asked, hey, I'm pre-qualified with Lennar mortgage. Give me $40,000 in flex credit. You're already giving other people $40,000 in March, but mine is closing in May. Just honor that as well, and we're good, right? And then, or ask for 50 actually. So they offered 30, asked for 50. We met at middle at 40. So I got additional 10,000 of flex credit, which was nice, and that 10,000 was used to basically upgrade my flooring on the second floor, right? And then, so in a sense, I put $45,000 down, but I almost got $40,000 in money, right? Because I would have to spend money to renovate the LVP flooring. I have to pay money for the closing costs, which is 10,000, money for HOA. So, and then also, what's weird is, like, I didn't have a realtor initially represent me, but I just said, like, okay, if I don't have a realtor and you pay the realtors $30,000 in commission, can't you give me a break, right? Like, it doesn't make sense if if the house costs $900,000 and I use a realtor, you're paying them $30,000. Why not give me the $30,000 or split the difference with me? Give me a $20,000 break. So you just charge 880 versus 900 because I'm not using a realtor. But they said, no, there's no realtor. So, I called up one of my realtor friends and just said, hey, like, it's a good, friend of mine. So I just said, hey, can you just do me a favor? Can you just, like, you don't have to do anything. Just put your name here. You're gonna get commission, and then can you give me some of that commission to help furnish my home, right? And then it's a really good buddy of mine. So, like, he was just like, okay, well, that's fine. Just I'll get the $30,000 commission. I'm gonna pay 30% tax on that, so it's $10,000 in taxes. Just give me the 10,000 so I can cover my taxes, and the 20,000 I will kick back to you. So basically, he makes nothing. He gives me $20,000, which I can use to furnish the house and get blinds, right? So that's what's nice. So if you think about it, I put $45,000 down. I got $40,000 in flex credit. I'm getting kicked back $20,000 from commission, right? Because I was so adamant that, like, if they were going to give $30,000 of commission to a realtor, I would have taken the realtor exam myself or the broker exam myself because I have experience, apply for it, and then buy the house, and then take that $30,000 commission, right? But they said that no, you can't represent yourself. You have to have someone else represent you. So that's why it's great to have friends who are willing to help you out. And, like, honestly, he didn't do much, right? He's just doing me a favor. But I downed $45,000, but I got $40,000 in flex credit and $20,000 in commission kickback, right? So that's $65,000, and I put $45,000 in. So in a weird way, I actually made money on this deal, but I'm using that to furnish the house, right? So that's what I love about the new builds, right? So, like, it's very lucrative in that way, but they do everything. Like, Lennar does everything in house, right? Literally, the Lennar owns a construction company. They own their own realtors. They own the property. They sell the property to you. They are now the loan on the property. They also use their own title company, and they also have their own in-house, renovate. Like, if you want blinds, they have their own in-house blind company. If you want extra renovations, they have that all in-house, right? So they're vertically integrated, which is smart. So that's why if you use their Lennar mortgage, they make their money. That's why they give you the flex credit. Like, okay, I'm literally getting $40,000 in flex credit, but I'm using Lennar mortgage, right? So let's just say hypothetically my loan payment interest and principal is, let's say, $6,000, right? Out of that $6,000, maybe 1,000 goes to principal pay down and 5,000 goes to interest. So if they gave me $40,000 in flex credit, literally in 8 months, they make back their $40,000 in interest payments from being the loan on my home, right? So Lennar is very smart for doing that model, right? They just build these homes, sell the homes, make a little money, break even, and then they make money when they become the lender on that deal, right? So to me, I thought it was very smart. And, I did, get some interest rate quotes from other lenders. I have a broker that I work with. He kind of quoted me around 6.625%. I worked with Citibank. They quoted me 7%. So they were actually pretty competitive. And it was nice to just do it all in house because they just communicate with each other, right? So this is what I love about doing real estate, right? This is how you get creative. And, for us, we don't want to over renovate the property because we know that it's just kind of a starter home for us. Like we're just going to, well, I own a lot of properties, but the starter home where I actually live in and plan on raising my family. But it's like you said, it's not like too bad in terms of that aspect. So overall, gonna document. So to kind of take a step back, how it works is you literally view the property, you're pre-qualified, and then you just say, okay, let's sign an agreement, right? Like I want the property. There's no bidding. You literally just submit an offer. You just tell them I want to buy it. They usually don't wiggle on the purchase price, so they're firm on that, but they will wiggle on like the flex credit that they give you, right? So like they're not going to lower the price of my house by 10,000. They're just gonna give me $10,000 in extra flex credit, right? Because they're just fixated on making $100,000, right? So you make an offer, and literally Lennar, you use their agent, right? So like they have their own contract. So literally you just tell the agent there that showed you the home, like I want this. And she's like, okay, how do you want to break up your flex credit? So you tell her, okay, I want 10,000 for closing costs. I want 11,000 for solar panels. I want 6,000 for HOA, and the rest goes to renovation. And what's annoying about the flex credit is, let's just say I put $15,000 for my flex credit towards the closing cost, and let's say the closing cost is only 10,000. I have $5,000 extra. You actually lose that money, right? It cannot be reallocated somewhere else. So what I try to do is be conservative with the closing cost. So I thought that it'd be 10,000 because I don't want to lose money. If I put, let's say 10,000 and it ends up being 9,000, then I lost $1,000 of flex credit. So I thought that was a little stupid, but you have to delineate that in the contract, and they're not flexible with like, oh, actually the closing cost estimate was way lower than expected. You lose that money, right? So I'd rather underestimate it so that I could use that money, in worst case, come out of pocket a little bit, right? So um, process is pretty easy to buy, right? You don't have to do this crazy. When you're buying single family homes or like people, or it's not new builds, it's like, oh, you submit your offer, and then like 5 people submit offer, then they do counter offer, and you submit an offer, counter offer, and you're just bidding up and up and up. But here it's like it's so easy. Like I literally just walked in, signed a contract, and now I'm under escrow in a house, right? And what happens is for the new builds, they'll tell you, okay, this is when the home expected to be finished. So it's expected to be done May 1st, right? So you got to pick your flooring, right? You got then 30 days before the expected close date, assuming there's no delays. So let's say May 1st, then we start like loan will finalize it, right? Like right now I'm pre-approved, but they'll finalize that loan a little bit later. So um, so I'm gonna document this experience going through. Want to share the journey of what it was like to buy a new build Lennar home in Southern California. I want to share about, I'm gonna record my property inspection walkthrough to see what things we caught. I want to do a 1 year review of what it was like to live in that home. These homes don't come with blinds, so you do have to like get quotes for blinds, but Lennar quoted me blinds, and they gave me a $3,000 quote. But I know Lennar can't up charges, so I want to get quotes from Home Depot and like Costco, or like 3-day blinds. You can get multiple quotes and estimates where they measure it out, and they'll give you like blinds, right? A quote for blinds. So if Lennar quoted me 3,000, then I expect Home Depot, Costco to be maybe like $2,000. I'm hoping, right? So pretty much, I just have to get blinds for 2,000. I got to get a washer and a dryer for maybe $1,000 from Costco. It comes with the fridge, dishwasher, stove, microwave, so that's fine. And after that, I just gotta like furnish the house, right? So for me, I'm gonna share how I buy furniture cheap. So for me, I buy the sofa has to be new and the bed has to be new. I don't buy that used, right? Just for cleanliness. But like if you want a TV stand, if you want a dining room table, if you want a coffee table, if you want patio furniture, it's always best to buy that used on Facebook Marketplace. You can find amazing deals on Facebook Marketplace if you're patient, right? Like if I want patio furniture, I see it for $50, right? You can lowball them, say, hey, give it to me for $20. And they'll be like, how about 30? Great. Let's do it. I'll pick it up, buy it, right? Because for that type of furniture, doesn't mean like furniture has the worst resale value. Like you'll be surprised. You'll find nice dining room tables for like 1/10 the cost. Like when I moved out of my San Francisco home, I sold my dining room table for like $100. And I remember originally my dad bought that for like 3,000, right? Or no, sorry, I sold it for 300, but originally he bought for 3,000. So that's how you like if I can buy that same table for 300 and then like, okay, it might be damaged here and there, but that's fine, right? Like it's just a dining room table and I barely use a dining room table. I'm probably gonna eat on the island, right? So like, but for me, sofa and bed, I always buy brand new. Beds, I love to buy the one at Amazon called Zenus. They come with, they just mail it to your house and they sell bed frames too. But I have a lot of connections with furniture wholesalers, thanks to my parents. Perks of being Vietnamese, I guess, or having connections. But if I can buy these wholesalers sell furniture to living spaces, I can buy that sofa at wholesale price that they sell to living spaces, right? And I just can have them copy what type of L-shaped sofa I want, and then for the bed, I can order Amazon. The rest, like you said, you can take your time, right? The dining room table, the TV stand, you can buy that used. You can find great used furniture, even like the patio furniture, used, right? So I don't want to break the bank on that. And then whatever money is left over might cover like 2 months, 1 to 2 months of my mortgage payments, right? So that's how you kind of hack the system with the new builds. So like I said, I'm gonna document the whole process, how the property is doing, the condition of the property, my experience of Lennar, everything, right? Because I want you guys to know what it's like working with Lennar. And you know me, I'm always 100% fully transparent. So let me know if you have any questions down below. Happy to answer them. I'm going to watch out for these videos as they come, as I go through the process of the home inspection, of a bunch of stuff, right? So I want to document that and be fully transparent throughout. Uh, Please share this video with somebody who's interested in buying a Lennar home, and I hope to see you in the next one. Please remember to subscribe and share this video with somebody. All right, thank you so much. Hope to see you next one. Thank you.